We're back again. Okay, so you've set this up now, and what I've done is I've actually brought this down here, and now we're actually going to draw some circles into this area. What we might just do to get you started is we go back to here, and I can sort of see here that we've got different heights, but what we might actually do, because these little guys sit on top, but according to the rest of this drawing, which is not in this video, it's actually these two guys here, or these two girls, that are actually form the base plates. So these are the two ones that I'm pretty keen to get on top. The rest of these little ones here will just form very easily, but we need to get these two here right for you. So just moving over like this, I'm actually going to put a circle like this, but in here. So can you see your circle? It goes, see how that's like sort of one quadrant? Can you see your circle actually goes out of it, and it also goes out this side. So keeping that in mind, we'll grab the ellipse tool. I've got it on blue, different colour, you put it on any colour you like, just so that we can see it. I'm just sort of going to have a go right now. So it's sort of beyond, it does go up into this quadrant here, doesn't it? Can you see that? Alright, so I'm sort of going to start myself off, I guess. Let's have one more look at it. Let's start myself off about here. And we'll give this a bit of a go. So I've got that. Now I can go to this, and we can actually double click on this, and you can actually sort of, actually I might do it differently. Sorry about this. Have another go again, pop that in, and rather than using the direct selection, we'll use the real selection, and we'll just sort of have a go, making it bigger, and so we can actually put it into this sort of area. Might bring it down there a little bit. Using this one does keep it in proportion a little bit, Lola, but this is perspective, and things go out of proportion, all right? Because things such as this ellipse are being drawn over to that point, and this side over here, or this edge here, is being pulled to that point. So I'm kind of happy with how that's looking, and you know what? I'm kind of happy with how that's sort of looking. But can you see that my circle here actually extends more over into here? So to do that, I am now going to use my direct selection tool, and what I can actually do is perhaps sort of start to pull a little bit of this out like this, and that's looking more like where the circle is. Alright, got that crazy shape. While I'm here, copy paste, and now this one, of course, it's sitting probably and it does, let's have a look at it, it does go over into this quadrant. So you know what, rather than placing it here, so I could place it there, all right, and it is going to that quadrant, but can you notice it doesn't do that? Look, there's all this room here. So sweetie, I'm just going to take it up a little bit, something maybe like this. Can you see what I'm doing? All right, now I do need to make it bigger, because have you noticed that as things go further back, they get smaller, as things get bigger, sorry, closer towards us, they get bigger. So now I'm just going to, using my direct select, not direct, just my normal selection tool, actually try and make this a little bit bigger. And I also need to bring it right to that edge there. Now this does need to go up to here. So remember, it doesn't touch, and of course it doesn't touch. I think it's a little bit too close there, isn't it? So I'm going to go back to my direct selection tool, grab this, we might be able to do this. We've got crossing over. A little bit concerned about this, that perhaps we should be coming in a little bit here, perhaps coming in a little bit here as well. So let's have a look. We've got a gap here that matches your gap here. This is touching, actually it's nudging over a bit, as is this. But actually now looking at your drawing, going back to here, or you can see your drawing, these actually represent the steps. It's actually this line here that I should be looking at, and it shouldn't be touching. So going back on that, I'm just going to go for a bit of a nudge here, and perhaps make that a little bit smaller again, and I think I'm sort of getting somewhere. Look at that. So let's double check in now, shall we? So here we are back at this circle here, hangs over this side, it's hanging over. It's not touching here, it's not touching. Looking at this, it's not touching, it's not touching. And now I just want to double check my height. You know what? It does go over this line here a bit. So to finish off, Lola, I'm just going to try and perhaps use my handle and take that out there a little bit like so. Can you see that? All right, starting to feel pretty good about this, okay? The next steps moving forward is we can actually zoom in, all right? And actually what we might do to make you feel better as well is actually fill these in white so that you can actually see them. So see how I've done that? All right, that actually should all be one shape. So that's fairly easy to do. I can show you how we can actually make that one shape. So what we can actually do is we can select it and select it. We're going to go to Window and we're going to go to Pathfinder. All right, and then look at these. Look at these. Guess what they do? Well, you can probably guess what this one does. Bang. It's all now one shape for you, Lola. Okay, I want to add some thickness now. All right, so thickness here. Let me come down a little bit. Now, Lola, you're the designer. If this is too far down, you don't have to do it, all right? But I'll just bring mine down like that for the moment. And then I need another one that's going to be around about here. Yeah, that's looking good. And so, and there's going to be another one, see there? That will come down to there, like so. How's that? We can possibly see if this will work for us actually. Copy and paste. Take the fill off. I'm just going to pop this, look at this, perhaps there as a starting point. Now, it looks a bit confusing, so stay with me, sweetie. Click on this, click here, click, click, and also I'm going to do a click and a click. Alright, so I've just added in a few more anchor points. Now using this, let's get rid of this because we actually do not need half of this. How's that? Lola, guess what? You're almost there. Well, the horrible part's been done. So again, I'm going to leave you here for the moment. Okay, that's now drawn in perspective. All we have to do now is you could almost even copy some of these, make them smaller, because according to your design, this, and this are three sort of platforms that will sit on top of this area here. And then here, we can actually, these little guys here are actually more steps that you can actually put in. Really easy for me to show you. Well, this is the most difficult part that you had to do. Now, if you wanted to, just a reminder, all of this could have been drawn a little bit lower, a little bit lower down from the horizon line, and we would have actually seen more on top. If you'd drawn all of this further or closer, we wouldn't have seen as much. Lola, I hope this gets you going.